Ballot boxes looted at gunpoint.
Very quickly, we would also like to show the visuals already show us how ballot boxes were literally destroyed and ballot papers are taken out. Literally, they were taken out and thrown on this canal.
Crude bombs hurled. Election agents attacked. Party workers murdered. Bloodshed for ballot. Violence for votes. This is the farcical Panchayat polls being held in West Bengal. As anarchy ruled over parts of West Bengal, the Mamata Banerjee government blamed for turning a blind eye.
कल एयरपोर्ट में भी मैंने ये कह के आया कि आज जो वोटिंग होने वाली है यहाँ पे मैं कुछ फर्क नहीं देखने वाला हूँ, भले वो हाई कोर्ट कहें या सुप्रीम कोर्ट कहें, कोई भी कहें, ये बंगाल गवर्नमेंट जो है ये शेमलेस एक गवर्नमेंट है।
दो একটা বিক্ষিপ্ত ঘটনা ঘটে গেছে কিন্তু বড় রকমের কোনো ঘটনা এখনো পর্যন্ত ঘটেনি এবং যে কটা জায়গায় ছোটখাটো গন্ডগোলের চিত্র আপনারা তুলে ধরছেন সেখানে কিন্তু প্রশাসন খুব কুইক।
From Cooch Behar to North Paraganas to Hatiapur, goons on a rampage. The state police completely helpless. Polling suspended in 13 booths as West Bengal burns. Why is Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee silent? Shouldn't polls be reconducted at all these panchayats again under the supervision of armed central forces? Let's debate.
It's shocking that this is the exercise of democracy in the state of West Bengal. The opposition has been threatened, burnt, shot at, murdered, bombs been thrown at other candidates, and these are the visuals that have emerged today from polling day. If you can see, viewers, it's clear as day that there's one person here stamping multiple ballot sheets for the name of the All India Trinamool Congress. There couldn't be more obvious evidence. Other than this, we've had visuals coming today from all over West Bengal of ballot boxes being flung into the canal. There you see them on fire with votes that have been set on fire, votes that have been burnt. It's amazing. The state government seems to think that it has done nothing wrong. Remember, this is the same state government that refused to ask for central government help or forces to maintain peace in Bengal during these polls. This is the same state government where several of these poll seats were being uncontested because the candidates were threatened, allegedly by the TMC. This is the same state where the opposition asked the Election Commission to please allow them to file their candidature via email, because they said they were being physically threatened if they went anywhere near the office where they were supposed to file their candidature. Where is the accountability in the state of Bengal? Where is democracy in the state of Bengal? Is it time for the government to cancel these polls completely and reconduct these elections under the supervision of central forces, or is it time for president's rule? Those are the questions we should ask tonight. Joining us on the show, Babul Supriyo, Member of Parliament with the Lok Sabha and the Union Minister of State for Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises. We also have with us Somnath Singha Roy. He's a political analyst from West Bengal. Through the course of the conversation, we'll have K. Narayan, National Secretary of the CPI, Vikram Singh, former Director General of Police, Uttar Pradesh, Rahul Chakrabarti, also political analyst from West Bengal, and Shikha Mukherjee, a senior journalist. All right, but first I want to go across to our correspondent, Tamal, who's standing by. Tamal, you've been on your feet for the last 2 days. This one day particularly has been harrowing from what I understand. What is the worst you've heard today? Is there complete chaos in West Bengal?
Well, Faye, I don't care whether it's good, bad or worse, but then maybe at this point in time, the only person who hasn't really spoken out is the State Election Commissioner, and that speaks volumes about the current state of affairs. the State Election Commissioner is responsible to conduct this election in a free and fair manner. We have seen in the past couple of days, in the run-up to polls, how every opposition party have knocked the doors of State Election Commissioner. And today on the polling day, which has been completely marred with violence, let's not get into the specifics of where these incidents have been reported from, because there is a long list, starting from North Bengal, Malda, Jalpaiguri, Kuch Bihar, to Murshidabad, to South Bengal like Birbhum, Bardhaman, and you also have South 24 Parganas, North 24 Parganas, Noida districts. So out of 20 districts, I think maximum districts have reported some or other form of violence. Let's not forget, 12 people have died in this day alone. The state DGP says 6 people have died in poll-related violence and another 6 people died in non-political violence. This segregation, once again, many would find appalling, because every death is extremely unfortunate and condemnable. At the same time, the state DGP has come up with a statement suggesting that this year's election, if being compared to 2013, where number of deaths had been 25, this year seems to be a better election. This year, the spate of violence seems to be lesser. But by saying so, has anyone tried condoning the violence which has happened? Because you have seen the impunity with which these workers, we don't know which faction they belong to, whether they belong to Trinamool Congress or opposition faction. We also cannot discount the fact that Trinamool Congress as a party has also lost its people. But then, on the ground, it was violence. It was clashes between factions. And these clashes happened because there was very little intervention of police. That brings to the first question. What was the security deployment arrangement found to be prudent by the state government? If yes, should that be questionable? Because central forces were not sought by the state government, from central government. And the state government relied on 71,500 state police force, few of them armed and most of them unarmed. And the state also pulled in police forces from neighboring states like Sikkim, Andhra Pradesh, Assam. So 1,500 security personnel were pulled in from other states, and they have also used their entire 71,500 police force machinery.
Right,
but
right.
then it seems like the entire setup has fallen short when it came to containing violence. Faye.
Well, Tamal, obviously these were questions that were raised in front of the court, and from what we understand, the State Election Commission, the government allegedly told the State Election Commission that central forces are not required for these rural polls, and the state government would be fine just managing it with their own forces. Now, this is obviously a problem, because from what we're looking at on our screens, this is not true. The state government doesn't nearly have a handle on the situation at all. Was that a deliberate, move, or a massive mistake on behalf of the state government?
Well, the state government, we have seen this Trinamool Congress party leader, Partho Chatterjee, also came up with a statement. Even he drew the same analogy. This year's election had been better than the last election because number of violence incidents have been lesser, and number of people who died as a number was lesser than previous elections. But then, let's not forget, in 2013 too, the state government had registered its allergy in calling central forces. In fact, in 2013, the then State Election Commissioner had even moved to court against the state government with her demand for central forces. Even after that, there had been violence. So what really gave them the idea that without central forces they would be absolutely fine is something we really find appalling. Also, Faye, it's important to understand, while the state DGP says there had been couple of deaths, 6 political deaths, 6 non-political deaths, he did not really confirm as how many people have been arrested. All these people can be clearly seen on these video footages, but then they have not really been zeroed on. They have not been arrested as yet. That once again raises the question, who are they working for? Have they been given absolute impunity?
All right, thank you so much, Tamal, for all of the work that you've been doing through the day, and of course this update that you give us at prime time. Let me go across to my guest, Babul Supriyo, Member of Parliament. The West Bengal government, led by Mamata Banerjee, has put out a statement, Mr. Supriyo. She says the BJP is involved in a dirty game. The way it brought out people from Bangladesh, Assam and Jharkhand to create trouble on our borders is extremely reprehensible. And this is indirectly, they have taken the help of the BSF, which is under the control of the central government. So effectively, the state government has blamed the BJP and the border security force for what is happening in the state.
मेरा दो तस्वीर कैसे?
Well, you see, it becomes hard to speak absolutely what we call, words that are not harsh when you are trying to hit back at someone as senior as Mamata Banerjee. It sometimes hurts me as a person, but I would say this is just a faction of Mamata Banerjee's dirty political imagination. That's what it is, because the pictures don't lie. Number one, Tamal has been with me, traveling in many places. I spent more than 25 days in the last month or so in West Bengal, trying to go to these rural areas. This is what you see on television screens are not documentaries shot by BJP as a propaganda. These are shots that have been recorded and have been recorded all over West Bengal by the colleagues, by your colleagues, by the media persons who have been beaten up, 10 of them seriously injured, and they're admitted to hospitals. Now, when it comes to the number of lives being lost, I have no words to express the anger in which they have, even Mamata Banerjee has gone ahead and compared the number of lives that were lost during CPIM or during CPIM rule and others. I think that now that they think that they are very close to what CPM did, I think their best way to describe or probably keep them in a better books would be to compare themselves and their records with probably Idi Amin or maybe Chemical Ali, if they have even heard what that is. With this kind of politics in West Bengal, will any educated person would ever be part of governance or lack of it? I mean, the state government did not want the people to vote, because if they really think that they did what the people voted them for with the Poriborton or the change or whatever that was, if they really did the work, then what was the need for this mindless violence? And you're saying 15 people have lost their lives, and they're talking about how less that is or how higher that is with CPM rule. I mean, what demented minds. Look at the tweet of Derek O'Brien, who's the national spokesperson, who's also known in outside political service circles and is a respected quiz master. Is that the language, Maoist and all of that?
All right. Let me bring in K. Narayan to respond to you. K. Narayan will respond.
11 lives lost. 11 lives lost.
Mr. Narayan, here's my question. This is the report at 3:20 p.m. today. Workers bar voters from casting votes in one place. 2 people shot dead. Voting booth vandalized. Bombs found lying inside of voting booth. Ballot boxes looted at gunpoint. Workers shot dead. Ballot boxes burnt. Papers thrown into the canal. Crude bomb kills BJP candidate. It goes on and on. This is how, I mean, this is the manner in which elections are being conducted in the state of West Bengal. It's shocking.
Yes. It is really shocking. And then see, technically we can say that the elections are going on, but it is civil war is going on there. It is not elections. Before nomination, 34% of the panchayats taken over by the Mamata Banerjee without allowing any nominations. Now war is going on, and the booth capturing not only that, and then she is not allowing anybody. Now she is claiming that the BJP is doing all these things. So you are a government chief minister. Are you ashamed of it? Yeah, as a chief minister, you should have taken action against them if you got right, and if you got guts, you should take against them. Being a chief minister, you are accusing that BJP is doing all these things means you are inefficient. So you accept it. You are not inefficient. Cleverfully you are doing this, and the left and the TMC, the fight is going on. The BJP and TMC, some of the places they are going to compromise. So this is the love and hate, and they are really fighting with the left, the Mamata Banerjee, and she is becoming as a dictator, and she is dreaming that she will become a Hitler. It is not possible in democratic setup.
That's a fairly strong statement to make. Somnath Singh Roy is going to respond to you. Somnath Singh Roy is a political analyst. Mr. Roy, do you disagree that this is no longer a democracy in West Bengal?
नहीं, मिरर नाउ चैनल को मैं थैंक्स जनाना चाहता हूं जी। ये पहली बार मैंने आपका डिबेट में पार्टिसिपेट करने के लिए मौका दिया। देखिए, आज जो घटना घटा उसको डिफेंड करने के लिए मैं एक बार भी नहीं बताऊंगा जी कितना तृणमूल कांग्रेस का कर्मी आज मरा। मैं एक बार भी नहीं कहूंगा 34 इयर्स में 50,000 से ज्यादा आदमी यहां पर मरा। मैं एक बार भी नहीं कहूंगा 2003, 2008, 2013 में कितना आदमी मरा था पंचायत इलेक्शन में। मैं एक बार भी नहीं कहूंगा प्राइम मिनिस्टर होने के लिए 2000 मुस्लिम का खून हाथ में लगना चाहिए। मैं एक बार भी नहीं कहूंगा।
आप कह रहे हो वैसे भी मिस्टर रॉय, आप ये कह के कि मैं नहीं कहूंगा, आपने सब सारी बातें कह लिए। नाउ गेट टू द पॉइंट. Is democracy functioning in West Bengal or is it not functioning in West Bengal?
मैं एक बार भी नहीं कहूंगा मैडम, मैं एक बार भी नहीं कहूंगा हर रोज कितना किसान मर रहा है देश में। मैं इसका बात नहीं करूंगा। इसको डिफेंड करने के लिए 15 आदमी का जान गया।
नहीं, जो ठीक है, जो आप बात कहने चाहते हैं वो कहिए ना। फिर
एक ही बात कहना चाहता हूँ
जी।
2013 में बीजेपी का कितना कैंडिडेट दिया था, 2018 में कितना कैंडिडेट दिया, ये बाबुल सुप्रियो जी को मालूम होना चाहिए। 2008 में यहाँ पर केंद्रीय जो सेंट्रल फोर्स यहाँ पर था, फिर भी 25 से 26 आदमी यहाँ पर मरा था। मैं बता रहा हूँ, बाबुल सुप्रियो जी को मालूम होना चाहिए। आज बोल रहा है केंद्रीय सरकार, केंद्रीय जो फोर्स है, सेंट्रल फोर्स है, वो नहीं।
अरे मालूम है ना भाई, क्या मालूम होना चाहिए बोल रहा है।
2013 से कम डेथ हुआ बाबुल सुप्रियो।
No, Mr. Roy, you're missing the point. Mr. Somnath Singh Roy, you're missing the point.
आपको मालूम है 2013 में आप लोग यहाँ पर नॉमिनेशन
Listen, Mr. Roy, that's not the point. We are not arguing. This is not a political conversation. Mr. Roy, can you hear me? One second. Mr. Roy apparently, obviously cannot hear me. Mr. Roy, can you hear me? My point is, I don't care about the fight between the BJP and the Trinamool Congress. It has absolutely zero relevance for me. People have died. There was an election conducted today, which was the absolute pits of any election. No democracy was upheld, no rights were upheld, and obviously the party in power in the state has the responsibility to maintain law and order, which the party has also said in its statement today. So where is that responsibility for the mess that was created across the state today? Now, I'm not saying we know who was responsible for actually looting these booths and making the bombs. But the state is responsible for law and order. That's my point.
मैडम रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी सिर्फ शासक का होना चाहिए कि विरोधी का भी होना चाहिए? रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी सिर्फ शासक का नहीं, विरोधी का भी होना चाहिए। अगर प्रेसिडेंट यहाँ पर कहेंगे जे काट के जमीन का अंदर गाड़ दूंगा, अगर इसका सेक्रेटरी कहेंगे अगर जीत के आऊंगा सबका घर जला दूंगा, अगर यहाँ पर इसका मुकुल रॉय जी ने बोला है अगर यहाँ पर आएंगे तो सब दखल कर लूंगा, ऐसा बात करेगा। आप लोग आग दिखा रहे हैं, आग कौन जला रहा है ये भी आप ये डिबेट में होना चाहिए। ममता बनर्जी ने जो यहाँ पर कोशिश किया, काल भी टीवी इंटरव्यू में बोला है जो डेमोक्रेसी यहाँ पर ठीक ठाक रहना चाहिए, लेकिन दिलीप घोष आज सुबह में भी बताया उन्होंने।
Let me bring in other voices. Shikha Mukherjee is a senior journalist. Shikha Mukherjee, Ms. Mukherjee, you tell us, whose responsibility is it to maintain law and order in the state, especially since the state government turned away central forces and said we don't need central forces, we can manage on our own?
Well, the responsibility of law and order, of course, rests with the state government. And the state government has failed miserably in that. I mean, just look at the fact that this is a panchayat election where there is rampant violence on the day of polling, before the day of polling, weeks before the polling process started, and of course there is an anticipation that the violence will continue further till after the results are out. Contrast this with Karnataka, another state where there have been elections just a few days ago, and look at the fact that there was no violence. Look at the fact that there was a one-day polling in which there was a huge contest. There was a neck-to-neck fight between the BJP and the Congress government, and then there is a very intense competition going on, political competition underway there. And you look at what is happening in West Bengal over panchayat elections. This is mind-boggling violence. Because this violence has been spiraling out of control. Let me put it to you very, very specifically. This violence has been spiraling out of control. The police are victims of this violence as well. And then you have the central forces not being encouraged to participate. You have the Mamata Banerjee government said no to the Central Security Forces. The Mamata Banerjee government then brought in from neighbouring states some 15,000 policemen. So what difference is that going to make when almost every single polling booth in West Bengal is a sensitive booth where there was an anticipation that there would be violence, that there would be
I'm going to take this back.
The democratic process.
I want to take this back to Babul Supriyo. Babul Supriyo, respond also to what Mr. Roy said about the fact that there are opposition parties that should take responsibility for the statements that they make in the state.
Well, you see, you can always debate statements made by, by political parties, opponent political parties. That's a matter of debate. You can always do that, but that does not justify the kind of hooliganism and gundaism that we are seeing in Bengal. As I see all this on your screen, I remember a famous statement by George Bernard Shaw. He had said that politics is the last resort of scoundrels. I believe with what you just said that we do not really care whether it is BJP, Trinamool Congress, CPIM. That's true. As I said in the beginning, put party colors aside. Let's think that these are people from the state of West Bengal who have lost their lives, and that's more important than anything else. But at the end of the day, in our country, you will have an election where you'll have to choose politicians from one of these political parties. They are the ones who are going to sit on the chair. The bureaucrats do not run the country. They just take commands from the politicians. So if this is the mindset of the politicians we are going to have in our country, who are going to elect themselves, robbing the right of voting, robbing the voting rights from the people, then what? Where are we going? Where are we going? Then this logic of not talking politics when politics is something which is taking lives, then how do you equate the both? So therefore, the fact that Mamata Banerjee can go here and actually make a comment, being the chief minister, she is making comments not like not what a chief minister's chair demands, the dignity. She is making comments like the Trinamool Congress leader, Supremo, who's just mad with the power, with the hunger to remain in power. Because if she has really worked for the people, then why they scared? Why they scared to let people vote? We are the biggest democratic country in the world.
So
and let me tell you one thing. What are they talking about BJP? Look at the three states. Right. Look at the three states. Give me 15 seconds. Look at the three states. Haryana, Madhya Pradesh, even the other place, I think Uttar Pradesh. In all the three states where BJP is the ruling party, the votes, the by-polls took place in peace, and BJP actually lost the seats. So if BJP was a party who would rob people their voting rights, then how is it that in the three states where they ruled and the same state election commissions performed the duties of election, why didn't something happen there, and why didn't BJP ensure that they won the seats? Because the opposition is all up there to even say one small by-election lost. One small by-election lost, and they're willing to say, "Oh, it's a big jolt on Modi."
Please allow us also.
BJP. Okay, all right. Let me read out portions of the statement made by the Trinamool Congress on the Panchayat elections, and some of it, quite frankly, is atrocious. It says people have exercised their rights in polling stations today. A few isolated incidents have taken place, however, which all India Trinamool Congress neither wanted nor supported. The administration today helped the election commission and nobody got involved in any instigation. A few of our supporters were badly injured, but across the length and breadth of the state, our supporters were the model of tolerance. Now, Mr. Somnath Roy, are you seriously going to support this statement that the Trinamool Congress supporters were the model of tolerance? And everybody got to have their rights today in Bengal?
मैं बाबुल सुप्रियो जी का बात एकदम मेरा बाबुल सुप्रियो जी का बात बहुत अच्छा लगा. उन्होंने बोला है पावर के लिए आदमी का जान नहीं जाना चाहिए.
थैंक यू सो मच.
इसीलिए तो हम लोग हर टाइम कहता हूँ बाबुल सुप्रियो जी प्लीज बंगाल में पावर में आने के लिए दंगा मत लगाइए. जैसे यूपी में किया था ऐसे मत कीजिए. वहां भी हिंदू हो मुस्लिम हो वो तो आदमी होते हैं, वो तो हमारा इंडिया में रहने वाले ही होते हैं, हमारा भाई होते हैं. प्लीज दंगा लगाने का कोशिश जो बीजेपी कर रहा है बंगाल में पावर में आने के लिए, ये बंद करने की कोशिश.
कहां से ये टॉपिक आ रहा है भाई साहब?
बंगाल से है, बंगाल का ऊपर आपका सिंपैथी है.
कहां से ये टॉपिक आ रहा है? Where is this topic coming from? I don't understand.
बोला है मैंने पूरा सुना, मैंने सुना.
नहीं, but क्यों बता रहे हैं? Let's get. Why are you digressing from the topic?
आप अच्छा बोला था, लेकिन
Why are you digressing?
यूपी में जब आशीष
Why are you bringing this up? I don't understand. No, let's talk logic. If you are a political, listen.
अगर ये बात
listen, if you are a political analyst, a political analyst is a cephalogist who needs to be neutral. You are not a political analyst. You are a Trinamool Congress loyalist. That's what it is. No, but don't bring all that. We'll debate separately. We'll debate separately. No, this is not right. You're bringing in. I will. Don't make allegations now. We are talking about facts.
All right. Let me bring in other voices. Rahul Chakrabarti is also a political analyst. One second, Rahul Chakrabarti.
I will make an allegation that Mamata Banerjee.
One second, gentlemen. Rahul Chakrabarti, what is your response to the Mamata Banerjee government saying the allegation made against us regarding the incident in Kadbip is untrue? At no time is death welcome, be it any party or the death of the workers, a sad event. They're basically blaming the BJP and the border security force for what happened in Bengal today.
See a citizen of India. I firstly strongly condemn about the loss of lives, whomever it may be, belongs to any party. It may be BJP, it may be CPIM, it may be Congress, it may be Trinamool Congress. But the loss of life, this is very unfortunate. I strongly condemn this. As we have seen since the time of CPM, it has been a trend of the violence in election that was set by the CPM party, the then ruling party. And the trend, status CPM is now in a coalition with the other two opponents. And it is their fear of losing any footage in West Bengal is forcing them to create such dirty and unhealthy and undemocratic game of violence. That is very unfortunate. All the three opponents have lost their mind and indulging themselves in violence, thus making such disturbing situation in this election time. That's what we expected. We never expected this. And see, more than so many lives of our TMC cadres also. So this is, the thing is this, if the opposition have no organization, the oppositions have no numbers, so what Trinamool can do, what TMC can do? But I can only say this.
So no, hang on. So you are saying, Mr. Chakrabarti,
but
Mr. Chakrabarti, you're saying that the opposition is creating the problem, but
yes,
not the state government. That's your stand.
See, as on the top of the state leader had made such an unparliamentary comment on TMC standing that he will be the state president of BJP West Bengal, that he will be the one responsible to orphan the entire TMC party. Is this a statement from a president? Is this a statement from a state president of BJP?
But okay, so before I go to the BJP for a response, Mr. Chakrabarti, do you believe that the statement merited this kind of response that we're seeing today? That the violence is justified by that statement?
No, see, this is... No. The violence is sometimes, sometimes they're indulging this. See, you are seeing a footage of some hooligans are there. So how can you justify the hooligans that belongs from TMC only? How can you justify?
Nobody's justifying which party it belongs to. I'm saying, as the state government in power, it is the state's responsibility to conduct elections without these sort of incidents. It is the state government's responsibility.
May I come in? May I interrupt? May I interrupt?
Yeah, go ahead.
The state government is not running the state election. The state election has been running under the state election committee.
And the police comes from where?
Not by the state government.
Police comes from where?
Of course, it comes under state election committee during the election.
So the option to bring in central forces and additional forces to maintain peace during these elections, who needed to have asked for those central forces?
I'm telling you, ma'am, one thing. I am telling you one thing. In the year 2016, before the assembly election, in the same method, in the same style, opposition had demanded for the central force. Yes. And the central force comes, and after that, what election results came, we all know.
So, you're making, I'm not really sure I understand your argument, Mr. Chakrabarti. Are you saying that the people of Bengal are beyond help and they're going to fight irrespective? So there's no way to stop this?
No, the people of Bengal, they want development. the main agenda of this election is exactly development.
And so? Well, how is that related to stabbing and burning and looting people? Yeah?
CPIM party.
So, okay, let me bring in Baba
That is
Bhagavan. What I don't
how
understand
can you justify that all TMC have done?
I don't understand. See, you're arguing that the Trinamool Congress is different from the CPM. But tell me how? How is this different? How is this different from every single election that that Bengal has had before this?
You see the statistics. You see the statistics. You see the 2003 election. How many people are murdered?
Wow, we are actually, this is, you realize this is a race to the bottom, right? That you only killed 9 people and I've only killed 12 and somebody else has only killed 25. It's a ridiculous argument to make. Anybody who dies is a problem. In this day and age to have elections like that, the visuals that we're looking at on our screen.
I strongly condemn this. I strongly condemn this. But from 1978 to 1994, all the Panchayat elections were held by under the State Election Committee. And what CPM made that time, we all know.
And so how is this different?
And see, one thing,
How is this different?
If there is no democracy, how could the oppositions file more than 96,000 nominations?
Do you also realize that a large number of the nominations went unfiled and the BJP was uncontested?
of the seats go without a person being contested.
How could they file more than 96,000 nominations?
34.2% of the seats have gone uncontested.
13,000 in 2008.
What are we talking about?
They have filed more than 26,000.
No.
34.2% of the seats.
Do you want me to believe there is no democracy?
Okay, I'm going to give Babul Supriyo an opportunity to respond to this. Remember, a lot of the people called this Panchayat poll a farce because of the kind of treatment that candidates received. Go ahead, Mr. Supriyo.
Yeah, I mean, have you not? You guys have all resided in Bengal. If I, you know, just for the sake of argument, if I say that the national channel did not show it, many did. Are you not aware of how I was stopped in front of Barabani SD office, 200 meters from that office, while I was taking 9 candidates, nominees in my own car, driving myself. 300 goons of Trinamool came and they were lying down on the street. They actually slept on the floor till 3:10 p.m. when the time got over, and then they just moved away from that. And I was offering water to them, saying that, you know, the nominees are scared, at least do not pelt stones and throw abuses. Are you not aware of that? Have you not seen those? Have you not seen those, you know, those footages? What are you talking about? Today, at least, don't say stuff where politicians become even more hated creeds in the country. Politicians, no, listen. Politicians, yes, I'm a public figure, yes. I've earned it for myself. I've earned it for myself. But the thing is that, why don't come up with lies? 34% of the you know, candidates have gone uncontested. I have myself faced it. I have taken the nominees to the places. You have pelted stones at me, you have broken my car. Those footages are all available. What are you talking about?
No, but I still don't understand why, how Rahul Chakrabarti is defending the government at this point. It's the government's job.
You know, for at least today, hide yourself, because this is the reason why politicians are a hated creed in the country. This is the reason why politicians are a hated creed in the country, because of such illogical, inhumanic statements. Please talk facts. Don't make allegations. I can say that Mamata Banerjee was firing from the top of Navarna, but I am saying that debate the facts. Don't get into fiction. You're going to lose respect. Or if you don't want to say something, stay at home. You cannot debate pictures. Every media in the entire country, the media is against you. They're unnecessarily manufacturing these pictures or videos. Is this something that you're trying to say? You know, debating with you guys is anger management. It's not really about politics.
Then Mr. Supriyo, can you give me answer? Can you give me answer?
Well,
why BJP should borrow a picture from Bangladesh? It's a viral picture.
So I'll leave it at that.
And you have to print that.
Oh, come on, please.
All right, let me bring in Vikram Singh. One second, gentlemen. Let me bring in Vikram Singh. Mr. Singh, we actually had the Supreme Court of India turn around and say what is worrying us is that there is a High Court order directing e-filing of nominations, and 34% of the candidates have been declared elected unopposed. And this is Deepak Mishra, the Chief Justice of India, who then prevented the Election Commission from announcing those 34% people as winners because it was unconstitutional, it's undemocratic. Everything about this election has been undemocratic. Do you think that the West Bengal is ready for President's rule, Mr. Singh, or do you think that in the very least it should apologize, the government should apologize, cancel these elections and start over?
Faye, may I suggest that either you are a part of a problem or a part of a solution. Now the West Bengal government needs to say where they stand, either they're a part of a problem or they're a part of a solution. Mr. Supriyo said and quoted Shaw that politics is the last resort of a gentleman. I would say politics is the art of attaining power and the craft of retaining it. The entire exercise of these elections have been compromised from day one. The nomination was compromised, the candidates were petrified, the polls were petrified, and the voters were compromised. They did not have the right to exercise the right of franchise. The ballot boxes, the polling centers, they were vandalized, the ballot boxes looted, and the voters and the staff intimidated. We have Rabindranath Minister, TMC, assaulting somebody in the polling center. Candidates not going to the returning officer. If this is not a farce of democracy, then what is? You very rightly said that the state is ripe for President's rule, and not to ask for the central forces is indicative of your mindset. It betrays that you want to have a pliable force. You want to have a force that listens to your illegal and legal and otherwise instructions that are not straight and moral. Therefore, you choose to raise allegations at the BSF, which is a very upright and a professional force. Do you think for a moment that the BSF or the DG or even a constable of the BSF would listen to your illegitimate orders? And to compare that there were more deaths in the last elections and there are less deaths now, there couldn't be anything more perverse than this. A single death is significant and a sorry state of affairs and indicative that your election arrangements need a lot of beefing up. Third, and the last point is, that if you find that any rhetoric or any speech to be vitriolic, to be offensive, you have the option of exercising action under 153 of the IPC right up to the National Security Act. But you chose not to recover the country-made bombs, the country-made weapons, and the large-scale violence and the mayhem and the orgy of violence happened is indicative of the fact that you were not serious about having a free and fair elections. Therefore, the President's rule seems to be the only answer.
Let me bring in Ms. Mukherjee here. Ms. Mukherjee is a senior journalist, and I'm just reading the list of incidents that my team has given me starting 10:30 a.m. today. BJP supporter severely injured after being attacked with a knife, and we saw the visual of that, he being brought into hospital. Post that, ballot papers thrown in a pond after a clash broke out between two groups. CPM candidate's wife set on fire. Deplorable. Political violence, and so the comments being made. 5 journalists injured in the violence following booth capturing. CBM worker killed in a bomb blast, 2 others seriously injured. This is not a race of murder. At 12 o'clock, TMC worker Arif Ali was shot dead.
Right.
At 12 o'clock, police deployment began. At 1:10, another statement was made. BJP candidate killed in a crude bomb that was thrown. Ballot boxes destroyed. Papers reduced to ashes. Police locked themselves inside one of the rooms. Papers were thrown in a canal at one point. TMC worker allegedly shot dead in another part. He was returning from polling. This goes on and on. This is shocking. I mean, are you really keeping score? Are you keeping score? What is this? What sort of a scorecard is this? You want to actually keep score? How many people were BJP? How many people were TMC? And my question was to Shikha Mukherjee. Shikha Mukherjee, is this a race to the bottom? Is this what is happening right now? Political parties are keeping score कि हमने कितने मारे और आपने कितने मारे?
Definitely. आप लोग तो ये एक बात भी नहीं बोल रहे हैं.
This is the bottom. This is the bottom where the violence has spiraled out of control, as I said earlier. the manner and method of the violence has just intensified over a period of time. If you look at the fact that just before the elections, before today's election, a senior leader of the TMC, Mr. Arabul Islam, he is arrested by the police for having been involved in a case of violence. A case where somebody died. The surroundings of his house are full of bombs. What kind of violence, what kind of politics is the ruling party playing? The message is very clear that it takes more than one side to create violence and to engage in a clash. If the Trinamool Congress insists on having all these people within her party, protecting them and shielding them to unleash their violence, then the other side is going to respond in kind. So yes, this is a race to the bottom. If not, this is the bottom itself.
You know, I want to display this visual one more time so the audience has time to see it. You'll see that these people barge into a polling station. They're trying to break open this door. The police have locked themselves inside the room because they're afraid. So there you see the only people inside the room are the police who've locked themselves inside the room. After which, these goons then pick up the boxes, the ballot boxes, and fling them into the canal. Now, I'm coming back to the same thing. Mr. Roy, I know that you are particularly enjoying keeping a scorecard of death today. Unfortunately, that's not the kind of show that I like.
Right.
I'm telling you, people died because the state government failed to do its job. Its job is to conduct elections using state police and central forces to make sure everybody is safe, that it's free and it's fair. It has done none of that. What is your response to that?
मैडम एंजॉय मैं नहीं कर रहा हूं, आप लोग कर रहे हैं। क्यों? आप लोग को कैसे भी करके दिखाना है जो ममता बनर्जी गवर्नमेंट फेलियर है, यहां पर राष्ट्रपति शासन का जरूरत है। मैं स्कोरिंग इसलिए कर रहा हूं, आप एक बार भी कोई भी चैनल में ये नहीं कह रहे हैं कि बीजेपी ने तृणमूल कांग्रेस को अटैक करके 6 और 7 तृणमूल कांग्रेस का कैंडिडेट को
मारा है। तो उनको अरेस्ट करो भाई।
आप लोग सिर्फ एक ही बात कर रहे हैं।
Mr. Roy, listen to me. If you are saying that somebody attacked the Trinamool Congress, then arrest that person. State government controls the state police.
एक क्लास लेकर आप लोग
रॉय साहब, आप कानून व्यवस्था में बिल्कुल फेल हो चुके हैं।
क्लास दिखा के आप लोग पुचर करेंगे।
मिस्टर सिंह,
अरे कौन सा फेल का बात कर रहे हैं आप? कौन सा फेल का बात कर रहे हैं? यहाँ पर
आपका वक्तव्य ऐसे ही है, आपका वक्तव्य ऐसे ही है। आप राय साहब, आपकी बात वैसी ही है कि 20 का सर काट लिया, ना मारा ना खून किया। इतनी कत्ल और हिंसा हो रही है, आपकी कोई जिम्मेदारी नहीं है। कानून व्यवस्था को लागू करने के लिए, गिरफ्तारी करने के लिए, नाजायज हथियार बरामद करने के लिए आपने नाजायज हथियार बरामद नहीं किए, गश्त की नहीं, गाड़ाबंदी की नहीं और कार्रवाई की नहीं। अब आप राजनीतिक वक्तव्य दे रहे हैं। देखिए, राजनीतिक वक्तव्य से आपकी जिम्मेदारी पूरी नहीं होती है। जनता ने आपको निर्वाचित किया है कि शांतिपूर्ण निर्वाचन कराएं, उसमें आप हुए फेल। उसमें आप मिस्टर रॉय साहब हुए फेल।
No, actually, you know what? One second, Mr. Roy, आप सुन तो लीजिए, Mr. Roy, आप शांत हो जाइए।
ममता बनर्जी नंबर 1 चीफ मिनिस्टर इन इंडिया। आपको पता ही नहीं है इसका बारे में, आप फेल करके यहाँ पर बैठा है।
Okay, all right. Do you feel better?
आपको मालूम ही नहीं है इंडिया।
Mr. Roy, आप शांत हो जाइए ना। आप अपने फेवरेट चीफ मिनिस्टर को डिफेंड कर रहे हैं, मुझे मालूम है। आप शांत हो जाइए। टेक अ ब्रेथ, सांस ले लीजिए, शांत हो जाइए। Now, Mr. Vikram Singh, who is not a journalist and hence cannot be accused of being biased, will ask you questions about today's elections, about the safety and the arrangements. If you want to defend your #1 chief minister in the country so desperately, answer his questions. Mr. Singh, given the visuals that you have seen on the screen today, what are your questions?
She is the symbol of honesty also. She is the minister, she is the politician.
My question number 1 is that you are a duly elected government. आप निर्वाचित सरकार हैं, and it was your job. आपका कर्तव्य था कि कानून व्यवस्था सुनिश्चित करें। आप कानून व्यवस्था सुनिश्चित करने में पूरी तरह फेल और विफल हुए। आपने नाजायज हथियार, इल्लीगल वेपन्स, इल्लीगल बॉम्ब्स बरामद करने के लिए कोई प्रयास किया? और अगर किया तो फिर नाजायज हथियार और बम कैसे चल गए? इसके अलावा आपने जो प्रिवेंटिव एक्शन लेना चाहिए था, आपने कोई प्रिवेंटिव एक्शन माकूल नहीं किया। अरे आपके कह देने से नहीं होता राय साहब, अगर आपने किया होता, अगर गिरफ्तारियां की होती तो ये दुर्व्यवस्था नहीं होती। जो रिजल्ट आपका सामने है वो दिखाता है कि आपने ऑन ग्राउंड कोई कार्रवाई नहीं की।
कैसे भी करके बंगाल को प्रोटेक्ट करेंगे।
Well, it's laughable right now that Somnath Roy is telling us that the Mamata Banerjee government will keep everybody safe because people have already died. What are you going to do? Bring them back to life? And if your only argument is that the opposition is the one conducting the violence, then it is the state police's responsibility to stop them. In fact, allow me to bring in Mr. Narayan. Mr. K. Narayan, respond to that, please.
No, what he is telling that she is the #1 chief minister. I too accept that she is #1 chief minister who dictate dictatorship.
This is not
she is a dictatorship and spoiling the democracy, spoiling the democracy, and this fellow is more dictator than Mamata Banerjee, it seems, what he is telling. See, she is not a failure. Yeah. She pre-planned and she got intelligence report, and she know how to deal it. Nearly 60,000 forces there. After all, she can control. But she pre-planned, and one-sided elections she wanted to conduct, and wherever it's not possible, she created violence and killing the things. So this one kind of intentionally, Mamata Banerjee spoiled the system of the election. She wanted to get out of these deaths and criminals. She wanted to get winning. That's why this the state government is under the dark under the leadership of Mamata Banerjee. We should see that this type of dictators should not be allowed in this society.
Mr. Rahul Chakrabarti, respond, please.
See, I am telling you one thing very frankly. This time people will cast their own vote, not in favor of any political party. They will cast their own vote in favor of development, which has never been happened in last 34 years, which has happened in last 8 years. You see the difference? There's a big difference.
Mr. Rahul Chakrabarti, you're missing the point of the conversation. People have cast their votes, irrespective of what they've cast their votes for. The goons have thrown those votes in the canal. Nobody's counting those votes anymore. The ballots have been violated. What is the point of voting for development? Please tell me. What is the point of voting for development? Look at the visuals on your screen.
That is the incident. Some incidents are there, but that is not the major thing. That is
these elections have been violated. They should be cancelled. These elections should be cancelled. They are no longer valid.
Let me clear one thing. Let me tell you one thing. Let me give you a clear picture. If Mr. Dilip Ghosh himself, the BJP state leader, to threaten violence openly, then we could assume the violence they are creating today to disturb the peaceful and democratic way.
So I'm going to ask this question very slowly.
BJP, they openly
I'm going to ask the question very slowly, Mr. Chakrabarti. If you and your colleague, Mr. Roy, insist that it is the opposition who are conducting violence, the opposition who are making threats, the opposition who's creating trouble, isn't it the responsibility of the state government-led police to stop them, arrest them, and ensure free and fair elections?
Yes.
So where is the failure here then?
State government has stopped it. Otherwise, it could be increased.
This is, you call this stopping?
See,
you call this stopping?
This responsibility goes to everyone.
No, it doesn't. This state government has been elected for a purpose. You can't take the power and say, now it's everybody's responsibility. The power is mine, but the responsibility is everybody's. The power belongs to the state government, as does the responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility. It's in the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
You can't palm off the responsibility now. Hello. The state government has failed today. It has to apologize. Mamata Banerjee should say sorry to the people of Bengal.
There's the failure of the state government.
It is absolutely the failure of the state government.
The election
Shikha Mukherjee, do you believe the state government should apologize?
It's under the election commission.
Madam.
It's under election commission. You have to know the norms, because state government has no role here.
State government has no role here.
Election commission has the role.
So state government has no role here. So the state police doesn't report to the state government.
The election commission has the role during the election time.
So the call not to bring in central forces
has to be maintained by the election commission.
Shikha Mukherjee, do you believe the state government should apologize to the people of West Bengal?
See, we wanted the...
No, the state government is certainly responsible. The DG of Police of West Bengal has issued a statement just a few hours ago in which he has declared that the elections have been more or less peaceful. What is this except for a statement by the police boss saying that the elections have been peaceful when he has failed to take any of the... I mean, just a little while ago, there was Mr. Singh, I think, was talking about the fact that there are various measures the police can take before an election starts and during the election process. The State Election Commission certainly has a responsibility to conduct the elections, and actually the State Election Commission is the one who can cancel these elections and ask for a repoll. We've had this in the time of session and it can be done again. Fact of the matter remains that the state police and the state administration had many things to do before the polling day, and none of those things were done. They could have rounded up each and every one of these thugs and goons, and the worst part of it is that here is the TMC blaming a neighboring country, people from a neighboring country, for having conducted the violence in some of these booths. They're blaming neighboring states, and they're saying that the people from those states have come in and conducted the violence. So what was the state police doing? Why didn't they do something about nabbing all these guys? So the state police, the state administration have either succumbed to the political pressure and looked the other way, or the state police is completely incompetent, and the Mamata Banerjee government is happy to have an incompetent police force.
Well, in fact, let me read out to you the statement made by the Director General of Police, Mr. One second. Let me read out to you this statement made by the Director General of Police Bengal, who said the death toll was far lesser than in the past. It should have been far lower, but far lesser than in the past. He goes on to say, we wanted the elections to be peaceful and we tried to ensure no deaths occur. Unfortunately, some people died. However, the death toll and violence recorded on Monday's Panchayat elections is far lesser than previous polls. And he believes for that to be a good thing. We've deployed more personnel than promised to the State Election Commission. Some stray incidents have taken place. Mr. Singh, what is your response to that statement by the DGP?
If highly irresponsible and uncalled for. Nothing could be more perverse than this, that you are comparing the number of deaths. You should have drawn your lessons from the deaths that happened in the last elections, taken proper precautions, ensured preventive arrest, preventive and preemptive police action, and ensured that this was a peaceful election. You did not. And if these 12 deaths do not matter to you, I think it's a very unprofessional statement to give, to say that the number of deaths this time is much less than what it was the last time. You cannot, and nothing can be condoned for this casual and cavalier attitude to say that you have come out well. You basically did not do your homework, and this is just an operation cover-up.
Right, I have to, yes, absolutely, Mr. Singh, I have to wrap up this discussion. I just want to remind our viewers that free and fair elections are the very basis of a democracy, especially at the local Gram Panchayat or the Zilla Panchayat level, and this were Panchayat elections. This is the state where Rabindranath Tagore said, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, into that heaven of freedom, my father, let my country awake. This is the state of West Bengal today, and the buck stops solely and surely at the door of the state government. It is the job of the state government to ensure security, especially during an election. You have failed to do so. You cannot blame anyone else, because it is your job to keep the streets safe. Every piece of violence that we have seen today is your responsibility. It's the fault of the DGP and the state government. The state government should take responsibility, cancel all of these elections, redo them with central forces in place in West Bengal. Or if you're not going to do that, if you think this was a good job, then maybe it's time for you to hand the baton over to the President of India, because you obviously do not understand your job to begin with. Thanks for watching.